In our last video we talked about Selene, the goddess and personification of the moon. But what about the stars? For that we turn to Asteria, the Titaness. It's not very clear if she represents all the stars in general or some star, because there isn't really much known about her. The name gives us a hint, it translates to Starry One. To be honest, this one is a little bit odd to me because her story isn't that huge or complicated with a lot of variations, like we see in most of the Greek deities. But despite that, she's a very important piece in Greek mythology. For the origin of Asteria, we need to take a look at the father Titan Coeus and the mother Titaness Phoebe. Coeus is known as a titan of intelligence and inquisitive mind, embodying the questioning nature of human existence. His name itself is associated with questioning and the search for knowledge. In the Titan hierarchy, he is one of the 12 Titan children of Gaia, Earth and Uranus, Sky, who represents the first generations of Titans. Coeus' role is relatively subdued, with the most notable contribution being his offspring. By Phoebe, he fathered Leto and Asteria, both whom have more prominent roles, for example through Leto's children with Zeus. After the defeat of the Titans, like many of its kin, he was said to be banished to Tartarus, the deep abyss used as a dungeon of torment and suffering. Phoebe is the Titaness associated with the bright intellect and prophetic abilities. Her name means bright or radiant, which could either refer to the intellect brilliance or possible association with the moon. In some traditions, she is considered the third moon goddess, a role more directly linked by her granddaughter, who Leto bore to Zeus. Phoebe was also associated with the Oracle of Delphi, a later myth suggests that she was original title holder, who then gifted it to her grandson, further associating with prophecy and oracular powers. By the way, if you want to know who the other Titans are, the link of that video is in the description. Coeus and Phoebe only had 2 children. Asteria and Leto are not only bound by blood, but also linked to each other in another way, in a way that is fundamental for the birth of 2 well-known deities. Leto plays a relatively quiet and supportive role, with the most significant contributions being her children with Zeus. One of the most well-known stories about Leto involves Hera's jealousy. When Leto became pregnant by Zeus, Hera, Zeus's wife, in her jealousy forbid Leto from giving birth on either the mainland or any island at sea. Hera also sent the dragon Python to pursue her across the world to prevent her from giving birth. Now, think about a world where being who you are can attract unwanted attention. Asteria found herself in such a situation with Zeus, the most powerful of the gods, pursuing her. Instead of giving in, Asteria chose to stand firm and determined, showing resistance and independence. She transformed herself into a quail and took a daring leap into the sea, choosing freedom over submission. This act of bravery turned her into an island named Delos. The specific reason Asteria transformed into a quail rather than any other creature to escape Zeus is not detailed explicitly in most ancient texts. However, we can speculate on the symbolic or practical reasons for her choice based on the context. For the symbolic significance, in myth, transformations often carry symbolic meanings. The quail, as in Greek ortyx, might have been chosen for its symbolic properties, which were relevant to Asteria's situation or characteristics. In some cultures, quails are associated with courage and victory, as these birds are known for their fighting capabilities. Thus, transforming into a quail could symbolize Asteria's bravery in resisting Zeus or her desire to assert autonomy against the power of the Olympian god. On a more practical note, the choice of a small and nimble bird might signify an attempt to evade capture through physical agility and ability to hide effectively. A quail, being a ground-nesting bird, could also symbolize the eventual transformation into an island, connecting her transition from the sky as a bird to the earth as land. Animals held various religious and cultural significance in ancient Greece. It's possible that the quail had a specific association in the religious beliefs or practices of the time that made it a meaningful choice for Asteria's transformation. These associations might be lost to history, but they could have influenced how and why certain animals were depicted in myths. So what was that special connection between Asteria and Leto? Well, remember that Leto was cursed by Hera while she was pregnant? Leto wanted the world to find a place to give birth, but she was meant to wander forever. But because Asteria, her sister, transformed herself into an island after the pursuit of Zeus, Leto finally had a place to give birth, because this moving island was free from the curse of Hera. Leto then gave birth to the twins Apollo and Artemis. Now you also understand why the story of Asteria seems peculiar to me. Apollo and Artemis are extremely well-known deities. Leto is often discussed when the narrative involves the birth of Apollo and Artemis, but it's thanks to Asteria that they could have been born in the first place. To me, she's an important part of the lineage. I think it's those stories that have great value in keeping the myths alive. By the way, the island of Delos exists today and is located in the Aegean Sea. It's part of the Cyclades group of the islands that lies close to Mykonos. Delos is renowned for its archaeological significance and holds UNESCO World Heritage status. The island was considered sacred in ancient Greek mythology as the birthplace of the twin gods Apollo and Artemis. Because of its mythological and cultural importance, Delos was a major sacred and political center for the ancient Greeks. Today, Delos is uninhabited, primarily acting as an open-air museum that attracts scholars, archaeologists and tourists from around the world. Visitors can explore extensive ruins, including temples, marketplaces and theaters, which offer a glimpse into the island's glorious past when it was bustling with activity. The Terrace of Lions, the House of Dionysus and the Sanctuary of Apollo are among the key attractions. Now, Asteria's story is not just about the stars or turning into an island. It's about making tough choices, standing up for oneself and the impact of our decisions. Just like Asteria, people today are often faced with difficult situations where they have to decide between blending in or standing out, between giving in to pressure or following their own path. Asteria's story encourages us to embrace our inner strength, to be true to ourselves and to remember that sometimes taking a leap of faith, just like turning into a quail and jumping into the sea, can lead to a new beginning and unforeseen adventures. Her legacy also tells us about the importance of family, heritage, and how our actions can shape the world around us, sometimes in a way that we can't even imagine. Thank you for watching. Until next time.